our race, the black race, got a hard time addressing our problems in the black community. I have no idea. You can bring up gang banging, you can bring up the death, the murder rate, the crime rate, you can bring up anything. The 304s, the women being misled, the children being misled, not being raised right, not being raised properly. People who going to church but not doing anything the church tell them to do. People who witness their siblings, their family being shot down, including people getting their head found off because they were in commission of a robbery. All the death and incarceration, 25 years, people in 25 years, people in jail for the 4th time, state, federal penitentiary. You can bring up any issue in the black race and there is absolutely no thought process from what I've seen. I see guys like Umar Johnson, I see guys like Rashad Ritchie, I see geniuses out there in the black race that's trying to communicate from whatever angle they coming from, but I don't see community on a national scale responding to the tragedies that's happening in the black race. I don't see that none whatsoever. It's no way that the community is trying to resist the problems we have in the black race, because if they were against the problems that they have in the black race, our children and our men, they wouldn't be so busy promoting these crimes. Neither would they be so busy condoning these crimes publicly. On YouTube condoning the crimes. In the music condoning the crimes. In the movies condoning the crimes. Everywhere you go, people are literally supporting criminality in the black race. That's the only evidence we need, or that the world needs, that we are not standing against crime as a whole. And I've watched people, family members like that shit, literally, boy, they commission the robberies. I mean, people getting 25 years because of robberies. People in and out of jail for selling drugs 4 or 5 fucking times. And the family members would just come back around the other people that are doing these things after the other ones have been shot down or arrested, and they wouldn't say nothing. They sitting there partying, smoking blunts, drinking alcohol, kicking and eating barbecue, but not even mentioning, hey, my brother's got his head found off because he was in commission of a robbery. Let's try to, let's try to see what we can do to make sure the next child don't get bleed before he even has a chance to live his life. None of those conversations have taken place, not that I've seen. Every time I go around, I'm sitting there speaking to these young men like, hey, we got to do better. Let's don't do this, let's don't do that. And I only meet resistance. People got every excuse in the fucking world why we're in the situation that we're in, and they don't got no course of action to try resolving these problems. None whatsoever. I've never seen it. I don't give a fuck if I'm talking to somebody that's been to church. I don't give a fuck if I'm talking to a nigga that never committed a crime in his life. For whatever reason, there's complete resistance in the black community when it comes to fighting to fix the problems that we have. I've seen that. And then they got the nerve, listen, as a community whole, people got the nerve to be upset when you mention it's not happening in other races. They really get pissed off. When you mention that part, a lot of blacks really get pissed off. And like I said, salute to Umar Johnson. These guys I really respect, I really mess with, even though I don't agree with everything they say. Salute to all the black excellence out there that is fighting to make some sort of change. But the average person in the black community is not doing anything to try to fix these troubles. Their kids are out running the street. They're being allowed to throw up gang signs, join gangs, carry guns, go out, blaze, rob, and do everything, and then come right back in the house and just chill, eat out, and don't nobody say nothing. Hanging out, selling drugs, nobody saying nothing. They don't know if it's something they should say. People are confused on whether or not we should even be talking about this stuff. I'm being 100% honest with you. I'm just laying it all out there. People in the black race are absolutely confused on whether or not this is the conversation to have. As if they just haven't buried 50 or 40 people in the past 20 years. Friends, family members, co-workers, all black, dead and gunned down by other blacks. Absolutely no form of resistance to the crime that's going out there. And I've witnessed it for years. Because I've been the one speaking, and I've been meeting all kind of resistance. People fighting me, coming up with 1,000 different excuses, this, that, but they don't have nothing to say when it comes to how we're going to resolve it. They don't even want to talk to the people who are in it. I was out there by myself trying to talk my little cousin into not getting his fucking tire blown out for doing a robbery. I'm trying to tell them leave the street life alone. This ain't where it's at. Everybody don't survive. Everybody I talk about that to, they want to dismiss the conversation. They want to talk about something else. They don't got time for it. Then they go hang around the people that's part of all this bullshit that we're talking about right now. They go right over there to those crowds where people are selling drugs, hanging out, carrying guns. They're gonna likely wind up dead within the next upcoming years if they don't wind up in jail. And it's crazy because I've only seen black people act out so crazily at funerals. When they first get word that somebody died, it's doing all that. I'm like, wow. If you feel like that, you about to have a fucking heart attack and a stroke in a funeral home. Why wasn't you resisting the criminalities in the community? Why wasn't you standing up for good, trying to save these people's lives, trying to save their freedom? Why wasn't you doing that? And this is how you know that people have or operate off complete ignorance. It's a lack of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We're not just dealing with people who trying to either be positive or, look at it a better way. That's not what we're dealing with. We're dealing with people who operate off complete ignorance. Because if you knew that this child was finna die or wind up with 25 years, you wouldn't be acting out, losing your damn mind at the funeral home when you got word that this person getting 25 years for a crime that you should have been trying to help this man avoid. 25 years. People dying, heroin overdoses. Yet you kicking it with the person that's selling the drugs and don't got nothing to say. We losing people to heroin. We losing people to gunshots. We losing people to 25 years in prison. People in and out 4 or 5 times. And I've never seen a single soul confront these men to say, hey, let's focus on change, man. I love you. I want to see the better for you. I was the only person that I seen, and I'm probably the only person that anybody can bring up and mention right now that was confronting these guys like, hey bro, we gotta do better. I don't want this for you. Everybody dying, everybody going to jail. I don't want this for you. What can we do to take it to the next level? Let's invest in something positive. Let's focus on positivity. Let's go get regular jobs. Let's just stay out the streets. Leave that stuff alone. You tell these people to stay out the streets, they think you a goddamn traitor. I'm being honest with you. You try to convince most of these people to stay out the streets, they will think you are a traitor and you done sold out to the white race. That's what I've seen. All of a sudden, I'm a sellout. I'm cheering for the whites. I'm like, they don't got a lot of the problems that we got. And it ain't just white people that don't got a lot of the problems that we got. There's a lot of people over here where our community, and I'm gonna have to say the brown community as well, are deemed the worst. And they are. If you ever lived in a fucking white community, and I've lived in a white community, if you ever lived in a white community and then you live in a black community, it's 2 totally different places. People in the ghetto think everybody is going through these problems. Like I said, we operate off substantial ignorance. People I've heard in the ghetto, a lot of people, even in my family, will say, everybody going through what we going through. I'm like, you was a goddamn fool if you think everybody going through what we going through. And I wouldn't say that exactly, but I'm like, no, everybody's not going through what we going through. I can name 40 or 50 people that's been dead, I wish. People that's been shot up and set on fire, thrown in trash cans. People that's been shot up and pushed in their own backyard. People that's been pushed up by their own family members. People that's been incarcerated for 25 years. People that's in and out of state and federal penitentiaries 4 or 5 times in a row for the same crimes. I can go talk to my ex-girlfriend who was a white chick. This shit will blow her mind away. She ain't never heard of no shit like this. It sounds like a fucking movie to her. You go over there in the white community, you're not gonna hear people shooting guns at night. People in the white community tend to go to some sort of firing range unless they live out in a rural area and have a firing range in their backyard. Now, I'm not talking about the trailer trash. We know we got the trailer trash where it's a bunch of drug guys and dope fiends, but even in the trailer parks, they don't do the level of violence that we do in the black community. I'm telling you this right now. They don't commit that level of violence. Now, there's almost equal portions when it comes to murder and robbery. In the black and white community, the black is committing somewhere around 50%. The whites are committing around 43% of those nationwide. But you have to understand there's 270 some million whites in the United States spread it out nationally. Versus it only being 12% blacks spread it out nationally. So you have to understand that our numbers are more condensed in our neighborhoods. Our crime is more condensed. In our communities, 85% of our crimes are committed against each other. Versus the white people spread it out, and you just took that 43% and spread it out amongst 270-some million people. That means that your potentiality or probability for being victimized by a white has thinned out. This is what everybody is talking about. You have a higher probability amongst blacks to be victimized by crime. And everybody knows this. That's why they're locking their doors at night. They're locking their doors at night. They're locking their cars and making sure they got alarms. Some people with the jail bars. Blacks are afraid of being victimized by other blacks. I've been in a white community. I've had a white dude tell me, hey, just come to the door will be open. Anytime you come, just open the door, you don't have to knock. This was a rich white dude. I'm like, bro, I'm knocking on the door. I'm not finna just walk in nobody's house because that's my mentality from growing up in the hood, in the ghetto. Right, so we need to stop being so ashamed of addressing our problems and kind of just like get right to it. Because I'm watching these people allow the cycle to continue. And you know they're allowing the cycle to continue with absolutely zero resistance on the national scale. It's not a significant amount of resistance. Like I said, we got guys like Rashad Ritchie, Umar Johnson coming to do whatever he's trying to do. All these guys are probably speaking on issues, but it's not significant enough. It's not like it's a huge movement where everybody involved, where the community's involved. The problem is the communities are not involved, and you just got like little oddball guys like myself, who was really up against my entire family. Everybody in my family I ever talked to completely resisted and made up excuses for why we going through what we going through. I'm telling you, the ignorance in the black community is the biggest self-destructive tool that we got to work with. And it's working effectively. The Lord is telling you, my people perish from a lack of knowledge. And you look, these people pretty much aiding and abetting criminals by creating a comfort zone for criminality. They don't understand that. My family too, I'm dead, and I'm the only one speaking out. Are you serious? You just left the funeral home. I wasn't in the funeral home crying like that because I already knew it was coming. I absolutely gave up on funerals. I'm done attending funeral after funeral, year after year. I'm tired of that. I haven't been to the last 4 funerals, maybe even the last 5. I said, you know what, I'm good. I'm good. I'm tired of going to funerals. I'm tired of seeing the dead get buried. But every time I see my people and I know they're in the streets, I say, hold on, let me talk to you, bro. This ain't it, bro. You gotta do better. And I will mention all the dead people. Let's still go out there and they'll still go out there and get 25 years, even though I'm pleading with them for year after year after year, not allowing them to be comfortable, not allowing them to forget that we have to make a change. But in the black community, if anybody find out you a child, they'll tell them you exiled and nobody wanna fuck with you. You wouldn't even make yourself known. You're too scared. Why won't you want to make yourself known? Because you're afraid of the consequence of being figured out. These people are not recognizing that same level of discomfort applies to anything that we challenge or fight against as a whole. They haven't figured out, they haven't used their minds that we can use the same resistance that we created against child Shia, all that to create this uncomfort, to create the less likelihood of someone actually committing these crimes again and out promoting it and condoning it. When it comes to gang banging, when it comes to robbery, murder, when it comes to selling drugs, all the stuff we going through, burglarizing, carjacking, all the stuff they doing out there, they committing every crime. All the stuff we doing out there, if we created a real form of community resistance, people would be less likely to commit these crimes, just like they're less likely to commit child shit. There's not a lot of child shit going on in the black race. Some of it is happening, no doubt, but not compared to every other crime that's happening. But I guarantee you, I done been in trailer parks, it still won't match what I see in the ghettos, because in the ghetto, people are comfortable. Even when you go in the trailer park, the white man is still not absolutely comfortable committing a crime. I'm telling you this right now, I've been there. The white race is still not comfortable as committing crimes as the black race is. The fact that our criminals have comfort means that the likelihood of committing a crime is higher because they don't have anything to worry about when they commit it. They're not worried about the police. They barely ever see the police. We got a code to not snitch. They're not really worried about somebody witnessing the crime. They're hoping you go by the code. They're hoping you fear of what'll happen if you don't go by the code. Man, we got to get together. Stop getting upset because people are comparing our communities to other communities and you see the lack in our community, now you mad about it. Just do something about it. Everybody dead, locked up 25 years, 10 here, 4th round there, all this stuff steady happening and you not saying shit. You think that's okay to go around the people that are constantly engaging in the very things that got your fucking siblings killed, that got your family members killed? You think that's okay to go around them and not say nothing when you know their lives are in danger? Are you that incompetent? Are you that mentally incompetent to think everything is okay? People have told me it's a random act of violence. It's not a random act of violence where guys are going around plotting to do the very thing you're accusing of being a random act. It's not a random act. If guys are sitting around saying, I can't wait to catch a body, I can't wait to do it, that's not randomly when they finally do it. They've been plotting on that. That's premeditated. And that's what we have in the black community. We have a bunch of guys hanging out, discussing, committing crimes, and our people happen to come around and be victimized by a crime they had already been intending to do. That's not random. A plot is not random, son. I'm sorry to tell you that. It amazes me too. These old square-ass, lame-ass niggas think they understand what's going on out here. If you not out here engaging with these crowds, amongst them, really heard what they're saying, then you don't know. Stop giving your advice and your opinion about some shit you don't know nothing about. Having your lame ass sitting on the porch, watching these guys perform out here in the streets and thinking you know something is the craziest thing I've heard. A person sitting in the crowd watching baseball does not have the knowledge and the awareness of the guy that's actually playing a baseball. Do you understand that? Observation can only help you so much, but experience is everything. You're gonna gain way more knowledge, way more wisdom about the sport when you're experiencing the sport. Because it's knowledge that's unattainable when you're only observing. If you was a scientist, you would know that. Please, enough with the stupid ass excuses. I'm begging you. Your people are dying, you don't got shit to say about it. You're still condoning the shit that you really don't even like. But you're too dumb to recognize what's your role in this shit. Your role is resistance. Your role is spreading awareness. That's your role. Your role is doing whatever you can to contribute to the unlikelihood of someone being victimized next. That's your role. If you didn't know, the streets is nourished more blacks than anybody out there. They nourish blacks every day. I'm watching the news, and every day in every city, blacks have been shot down and leashed by their own kind. Every single day. The biggest enemy to a black man is the black man. That is the pill that is tough to swallow for blacks as a whole, that you are your biggest enemy. We have to disassemble these gangs. We have to rewrite the minds of these children, and we have to rewrite our history.
I know your mama mean you the best good and shit. I know she want to raise her kid. I know she want to raise her kids right. She want to teach them how to fight and shit. She want to teach them how to live. You got to survive with her. That's a fact. You got to survive, but you got to know who to fight. You got to know who to put your motherfucking hands on, because the wrong nigga you put your hands on, he gonna take your motherfucking life away. You'll be a dead-ass nigga for trying to be tough. You'll be a dead-ass nigga for trying to be hard, and you gonna have to know how to choose your motherfucking battles wisely, my nigga. Going around trying about putting your hands on motherfuckers, being tough, being bad, having that mean mug on your motherfucking face, my nigga. Motherfuckers don't know what that shit mean. Motherfuckers don't see their face, they don't know what that shit mean. You gonna come around and motherfuckers ain't wanna fuck with you for real. Only niggas who wanna fuck with you is gonna be dang ignorant that shit you on. Break away from what's really for it's unconquerable. Then you a slave to a nigga, now you done lost control. You a brave little nigga, but you ain't got alone. In the wake of your killing, you realize you wrong. You realize you gone. Look back and see your body laying dead as your spirit entered the crossroads. You was once alive, walking with your eyes closed, but you learned the hard way that you reap what you sow. Dip my hands in holy water and wash them with soap. Baptized in holy water, I'm watching my soul. Being escorted by an angel from Guantanamo. Through being tortured by a demon from what's abominable. For what's dishonorable. Till it's my time to go. I'm putting faith in the Father, I'ma take the highest road. Let me tell you what's advisable. Learn to be wise, cause ignorance will leave you conquerable. Wickedness is doing us. Wickedness is doing us. Wickedness is doing us. Wickedness is doing us. We put death in the cycle and watch it ruin us. We can do much better if we just do enough. Wickedness is doing us. Wickedness is doing us. Wickedness is doing us. Wickedness is doing us. We put death in the cycle and watch it ruin us. We can do much better if we just do enough. Everybody wanna have wins every day, all day, but that's just not the way it's gonna be, my nigga. Now, if you wanna survive on her, sometimes you gonna have to take that motherfucking L. That's if you wanna keep your motherfucking life. Or your mom gonna be burning a dead ass nigga. That's a fact. You preparing them for his own death. Why not prepare them for Jesus so they each receiving their own blessing? You try to teach them fight his own brethren. You the reason they violent and steady beefing in their adolescent. You the reason they kill each other and their upsetness. How you enter the church and leave forgetting the message? Why couldn't you teach them discipline and how to check aggression? How to learn from his mistake and how to correct it? How life too precious to end it in a second. How to withstand temptation even when he desperate. The secret to betterment and a testament. Give your life to God, his existence is proven evident. Falling victim to your passion, evil your master. You put evil in a practice and now you've mastered it. You know what matters is, you trying to be the baddest bitch showing your ass, but you neglecting these badass kids. Kids grown up misinformed like they daddies did. And dying foolishness, no disputing is the saddest shit. You give them music by looting, shooting and savage shit. You polluting our youth because you fatuous. Wickedness is doing us. Wickedness is doing us. Wickedness is doing us. Wickedness is doing us. We put death in the cycle and watch it ruin us. We can do much better if we just do enough. Wickedness is doing us. Wickedness is doing us. Wickedness is doing us. Wickedness is doing us. We put death in the cycle and watch it ruin us. We can do much better if we just do enough. You're not here to be in no motherfucking bullshit. You're not here to be giving your life away to these streets, my nigga. There's a lot of dead niggas that these mothers wish they can dig about the fucking grave and put life right back into their motherfucking bodies, but it just don't work like that. Wickedness is doing us. Wickedness is doing us. Wickedness is doing us. Wickedness is doing us. We put death in the cycle and watch it ruin us. We can do much better if we just do enough. Wickedness is doing us. Wickedness is doing us. Wickedness is doing us. Wickedness is doing us. We put death in the cycle and watch it ruin us. We can do much better if we just do enough.